This self-paced course is on oil and gas contracts, and the fiscal regimes. It is divided into 5 sections. It was prepared by Thomas Adebayo, a seasoned petroleum engineering teacher with over 25 years university teaching experience. For more comprehensive professional development course, please contact Glorious Mind Consultancy and Training at their website. The topics covered in this training are: 1. Introduction to petroleum products. Under this topic, we will examine the following: gas condensate, natural gas liquids, NGLs, liquid hydrocarbons, solid hydrocarbons, oil shales and ozokerite. 2. Hydrocarbon classifications. 3. Oil production volume definition. After this, we will go the main study such as: 1. Concession agreement. 2. Tax and royalty regime. 3. Service level agreement. 4. Joint venture. And 5. Petroleum production sharing agreements. Under this we will study advantages of PSA and types of PSA. We will also cover the following topics: royalty oil tax, royalty payment to host community, equity oil, cost recovery oil, profit oil, and lastly we will examine a complete production sharing contract sample. Petroleum mineral has many variations. There is no single definite composition for petroleum crude, as it varies from reservoir to reservoir. This introductory part is short and necessary for those people that are taking this course and have no petroleum engineering background. For petroleum tax purposes, petroleum products are classified as gas, liquid hydrocarbon, and solid hydrocarbon. For gas, we have 1. Dry gas. This is mostly methane in composition with small percentage of ethane and other higher hydrocarbons. The gas reservoir temperature is far higher than the critical temperature, and so virtually no petroleum liquid content exists in the gas stream. Production of this gas will yield no liquid content. 2. Gas could also be classified as a wet gas. This is a gas with reservoir temperature higher than the critical temperature. Contain lower methane fraction than dry gas and has ethane, propane, butane and higher hydrocarbon. Both the dry gas and the wet gas are from gas reservoir. A reservoir that is pure gas at the initial reservoir temperature and pressures. Another type of gas is the gas condensate. This is a gas reservoir with no initial oil layer, but has a pressure above the dew point pressure of the gas. It also has a temperature very close to the critical condensate temperature, Crickenden-Therm. This is a temperature in which a gas can behave both as gas and as a liquid. Due to this, its temperature and pressure, part of the condensate gas condenses as oil inside the reservoir. This is when the reservoir pressure reduces below the dew point of the gas. The condensed liquid can then be produced as liquid oil from a gas reservoir. For the condensate reservoir, oil layer is formed and increasing as production increases. The condensate, on processing, yields much lower value liquid petroleum gas and light naphtha. The fourth type of gas is a processed gas, called natural gas liquids or NGL for short. This is a byproduct of natural gas processing and refining and are obtainable from natural gas at the gas processing plants. Essentially, they are part of the produced gas volume. The uses of the NGL include cooking, space heating, and blending NGLs into fuels for vehicles. It is a mixture of ethane, propane, isobutane, butane and natural gasoline. This is totally different from liquefied natural gas, LNG, that is mostly methane in content. For liquid hydrocarbon, we have many types also. This include 1. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. Also known as petroleum gas liquids, PGL. This is pressurized associated gas produced with oil. It has butane as the highest component. 2. Crude oil. This is a mixture of hydrocarbon that is liquid both under reservoir condition and also at the surface storage condition. 3. Heavy crude. This is high viscous crude that have difficulty in natural flow in the reservoir. To produce this type of crude, there is need to enhance the flow by reducing the viscosity. This can be done by either increasing the crude temperature or injecting viscosity reduction materials into the oil. Apart from gas or liquid, we also have solid hydrocarbons, namely 1. Oil sands. Also referred to as tar sand or bituminous sand. It is a mixture of sand, clay and bitumen. Since the bitumen is highly viscous, flow under natural condition is impossible. Thermal enhanced production is carried out to produce the bitumen as heavy crude. Venezuela and Canada have the largest oil sands deposits in the world with a combined reserve greater than the world conventional oil reserve. Kazakhstan and Russia also have significant oil sands reserve. 2. Oil shales. This is similar to the oil sand, but in this case, the hydrocarbon is not fully formed. It exists in the form of a kerogen, an intermediate between organic material and crude oil. The oil shales need to be cooked to produce heavy crude oil from it. The cooking will complete the decomposition of the kerogen to form oil. Methods for conversion include pyrolysis, hydrogenation, or thermal dissolution are the processes used to convert the shale to crude. Major shale oil producing countries are China, Estonia, Brazil, Australia, USA, Canada and Jordan. The third type of hydrocarbon solid is the ozochorite. It is a naturally occurring mineral wax or paraffin. It is highly non-homogeneous in composition and crystalline structure. It is found in about 30 countries including UK, Indonesia and Turkmenistan. It is usually used for the production of candle and electric insulators. Next is to explain hydrocarbon classification that affects the pricing of the products. There are 4 types of crude oil classifications. Class A crude, this is a light, volatile oils and highly mobile fluid. It is often clear, spread rapidly on solid or water surfaces, and has a strong odor. It has high evaporation rate, and also flammable. Class B crude, this is non-sticky oils. Medium to heavy paraffin-based oils. Class C, crude. This is heavy, sticky oils and viscous. It is sticky with a brown or black color. Class D crude, this is non-flowing oils. A residual oil. It is heavy crude oils such as some high paraffin oils. There are also 2 types of natural gas classifications. Natural gas. This is a free occurring gas in the reservoir. It is produced from a natural gas reservoir. Associated gas. From the name, it is a gas produced in association with oil production from an oil reservoir. Gas can also be classified based on the purity of the gas. Sweet gas. This gas has high purity and so command higher price. Sour gas. This gas contains some impurity that needs to be removed. So, it needs extra processing. In this section a brief explanation is given about reservoir and production volume. There is need to understand oil volume. This is because the volume of oil at the reservoir and the volume of oil produced at the surface are not the same. Crude oil is a compressible fluid. Under reservoir conditions, it occupies lesser volume due to the compression. But, it expands when temperature increases or when pressure reduces. From the diagram we could see that one layer lies on top of another layer. These layers are heavy, and when they are on top of a given layer, they exert much weight and pressure on the layers at the bottom. This creates pressure in the underlying layers. This pressure is shared by both the layer rocks and the fluids inside the layer. Geologically, it is proven that, the deeper the underground depth thickness, the higher the overburden on that layer. Hence, the higher the temperature and the pressure due to the increasing overburden. Reservoirs are at very significant higher pressure, and also higher temperature than the surface condition. While the pressure of the surface can be in tens of pounds per square inches, the reservoir pressure is in thousands of pounds per inch too, psi. A unit volume of oil at the subsurface reservoir is under high compression and is therefore expected to expand many times by the time it is brought to the surface. Crude oil contains dissolved petroleum gas. The higher the pressure of the oil, the higher the volume of gas dissolved in the oil. Once the crude is produced, the pressure reduces and the gas comes out of the oil, right inside the well and also at the surface. This reduced the volume of oil produced. Therefore, the actual volume of oil produced at the surface is just about 30% extra volume compared to the reservoir volume. The gas produced or liberated from the crude oil is tens or hundreds of the corresponding reservoir oil volume. The expansion of the crude oil is called oil formation volume factor, (VO). The corresponding expansion in gas and that of water is called gas formation volume factor and water formation volume factor respectively. Oil formation volume factor, (BO), can be expressed as ratio of oil at surface condition to that of the reservoir condition stock tank barrels per reservoir barrels, and in this case it is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 1.3. When oil formation volume factor is expressed as the ratio of reservoir volume to that of the surface volume 1. Reservoir barrels per stock tank barrels, then BO less than or equal to 0.9. The total oil produced, and gas produced if recoverable, is the measure of the revenue accrued to the oil company. In this section, we have introduced the different types of gas and oil. Their classifications and volume change during production. This is because the types of contracts is most of the time directly proportional to the type of hydrocarbon to be exploited.